And to Newswatch, well, I'm sure you know the drill. The ABC is funded by all us taxpayers, so it's supposed to be unbiased by law. But if you ever wanted proof that it's been totally hijacked by the left, check its coverage of Donald Trump. A hatred of Donald Trump goes right to the top of the ABC. Deputy Chair Kristen Ferguson, she tweeted 2 weeks ago that Trump was immoral, criminal and selfish. That's from the Deputy Chair. And now the ABC has gone nuts with Trump derangement and don't even pretend anymore to hide it or to try to find some balance. I cannot remember ever seeing anything like what the ABC screened last night. An hour and a half of totally lunatic, off-the-wall hatred and of Donald Trump. It started with the flagship 7:30 program.
President Trump has been an embarrassment to this country.
His conduct, it's a combination of like the American Mussolini meets Dr. Frankenstein.
President Trump is the most polarizing political figure of our lifetime.
I honestly fear for this nation under Donald Trump.
Presenter Leigh Sales herself joined in this hysterical abuse.
Many die-hard Trump supporters don't care about the chaos that's been evident from day one of the administration, the compulsive lying and recklessness of Trump.
Can the president tell the difference between the truth and a lie? There have been so many examples of appalling behaviour.
And sure, Sales did get a couple of people in to defend Donald Trump, but she picked supporters she plainly thought was stupid and then said so.
We support the conservative way of life. When you walk in the door, there's a mural of a Second Amendment with about 35 guns on the wall.
For these Americans, forget that more than 200,000 people have died in the pandemic, forget the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, and forget Donald Trump's 20,000 odd lies in office.
Now, if that wasn't enough Trump hatred on the ABC for you, Four Corners then repeated the formula. First with experts with an apocalyptic hatred of Donald Trump.
If he's re-elected and has another 4 years, incalculable and perhaps irreversible damage will be done to American democracy. And
I could never envision a horror show like this. This has been a nightmare.
Now he's an existential threat to the country.
Has said tens of thousands of lies.
He's left a wake of destruction behind him.
And presenter Michael Britton also had his little effort bagging Trump repeatedly as well. So, joining me is Gerard Henderson, head of the Sydney Institute, columnist with the Australian newspaper and author of the Media Watchdog blog. Gerard Henderson, explain what I saw last night. An hour and a half of the most vicious Trump bashing, describing Trump as a cross between Mussolini and Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, well, I saw it in reverse order because I always watch the Bolt Report. So I watched Four Corners first, and then I watched a replay of 7:30. Now, on Four Corners, they got three Australians, Simon Jackman, Kim Hoggart and Bruce Wolpe. All of them are Trump haters. All of them got it wrong, certainly two of them. I think all of them got it wrong in 2016, so they've come back as the experts, and they had one Republican, serious commentator from America. Now, it was, and then they had a hostile commentary, as you've shown, from Michael Britton. And then on 7:30, as you've documented, as I worked it out, essentially of the commentators, they had six. They had three Democrats and they had three Trump-hating Republicans. And then it's really an insult to the viewers because Leigh Sales reckons we're not smart enough to understand the message. So then she editorializes about how bad Donald Trump is as if we hadn't seen it already on the screen. And it was the same with Michael Britton. So there was no one of at a commentator level who was even a vague supporter of President Trump in 1.5 hours of television. I mean, it was grossly unprofessional, and but you know that's what the ABC is like these days. It's probably getting worse. Mate, it's just such an insult also to the viewers. I mean, say if Donald Trump does pull off a miracle win, I don't expect him, but say if he does, I have no idea why he did it. Because as far as I can tell, all America hates his guts, apart from a couple of gun-toting, Bible-bashing loonies. I mean, it's just so weird. Now, apparently, though, Gerard,
it's a mystery to me, but apparently the ABC thinks its coverage of Donald Trump still is too positive. It's not hostile enough. So it has now sent over to America Sarah Ferguson, the correspondent, an ABC correspondent, did a 3-part series pushing a fake claim that Donald Trump actually colluded with Russia to steal the last election. Here is a taste of her so-called journalism.
Tonight, we begin our special 3-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia. The Kremlin's puppet master now has America dancing to his discordant tune.
What is the ABC up to?
Well, you analysed Sarah Ferguson in your blog, and I analysed her 3-part series in my Media Watchdog. And, I mean, it was just extraordinary. She went to United States, she went to Britain, she went to parts of Western Europe, as I recall. She came up with this massive conspiracy theory, and not one of her claims stood up. Not one. And what was supposed to be the story of the century wasn't even the story of 3 hours, as it turned out. She was a bit short-changed on that. All the Australian taxpayers paid for it. So having gone to the United States and so badly stuffed up the analysis, I mean, even the Mueller report demonstrated how false her conspiracy allegations were. When the ABC couldn't send Ms Ferguson into China because she couldn't get in for various reasons, and that wasn't her fault, they've now sent her off to the United States to give more of this great expertise she showed. So just lumping the Bureau with another Trump hater. Now, I think on my last count, the ABC already had 5 people in the US. Then they sent Michael Rowland over to help out, so he's another Trump opponent. And now Ms Ferguson's on the way, and she's another Trump opponent. So if an Australian taxpayer only got his or her news from the ABC, you would come away with the impression that Donald Trump wouldn't win one state, and certainly on the popular vote would get around 10 or 15%. Now, I mean, this is how bad the reportage is. Now, we haven't seen Sarah Ferguson's report yet, but is anything like her reporting on Donald Trump, it'll just be absolutely hopeless.
Gerard, this is a picture of me not holding my breath.